Hi there and welcome. It's Jackie here from stampingjap.com. It is Wednesday the 27th of October, so it means it's time for Facebook Live. I hope, let's keep our fingers crossed, that the gremlins don't bother us today like they did last week, and that I will be able to see your comments. So do leave me a comment below when you're here so I know you're here. Last week I couldn't see the comments and that just wasn't as much fun. So let's fingers crossed that it's all okay. I'm just going to double check I'm live in the right places and hopefully we'll be okay. How is everybody today? I don't know what it's like where you are, but the weather here on the Isle of Man has definitely gotten very autumnal. Oh, I've got a heart, so that's good. Somebody's here. Woohoo! Hi Mary, welcome. You're the first one in. Good to see you. Hi Lynn. Yay, I can see the comments. Hi Sue. Hi Sue. Good to have you. Let's hope that continues for the rest of the evening. Hi Diane. It's good to see you. Let's just... Hi Sue. Good. We're having everybody in the door. It's good to see you all here. As you can see, tonight I shall be having a little bit of a play with the gorgeous leaves bundle. As I was saying, the weather here has gotten definitely turned autumnal. We've got quite a lot of wind, so the leaves are swirling around everywhere. So I thought I would dig this stamp set out. I've been meaning to play with it for a while, and we'll play with that tonight. So things here have been pretty busy. We've got Rupert is home from school for his half term, so I popped over to the UK last week to go and pick him up. And we've also got some visitors over from the UK and from Germany. And, you know, in between all of that, got to do some work. So it's been kind of busy. So I'm looking forward. I've actually managed to have some time this afternoon to actually think about what we might do this evening, a little bit more than I normally do. So I'm looking forward to a nice evening crafting with you all. So as you join me, thank you for saying hi. Do make sure and share this video. If you're watching on the YouTube replay, then give me a thumbs up. That'd be great. And I'm just going to check now. Yes, that's good. I am live and I can see all of our videos. So in case you missed it last week or just gave up, because I have to say I felt like giving up myself because the technology just didn't play ball. But anyway, so last week we kind of did gatefold and trifold cards. So got this one here, which is a very simple, straightforward gatefold, and then we got ourselves gradually more and more complex as we went on. So this one was where we just had the trifold then with the slant at the top. And then we did, I can't remember which order we did them in, but then we did this one, which I think this one's my favourite, where we just made points. So we got like a crossover. I love the way this butterfly turned out. Sue says it keeps pausing. I hope it's not, I hope it's not the internet. I hope it's not the internet. As I say, it's a bit stormy as we are at the moment. You might be able to hear the wind and the rain outside, so hopefully we'll get through. Okay, if it is pausing, I can see it's not pausing here. I'm looking at it on my device here, so I would suggest you might want to just pop out and pop back in again. Might be the case. So yeah, it seems to be working all right on my laptop, and normally my laptop is the thing that gives me the heebie-jeebies and lets me down. So then this is the other trifold cards that we made as well. So I really enjoyed these projects last week. It was nice to do a bit of a fold or a technique, which is good. So that's last week's card. So if you missed it last week, then just go back and you'll be able to see it in the videos on my Facebook page. And then you'll see maybe I've just seen, okay. Such is life. We'll just power on through and hopefully it'll sort itself out. So those of you who've been in the VIP group will have noticed that I've been quite active in there this evening, because I've been doing a bit of catching up on my correspondence. As I say, things have just been absolutely crazy busy these last few weeks, so I've been a bit quiet. So these were the card swaps that I got from Sue, Diane and Lynn, which were lovely, and I enjoyed them thoroughly. So and I know there's been the other card swaps they sent have been posted in as well, so do check out those pictures. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love the different techniques. The theme was monochrome. What I am a bit worried about though is that it doesn't seem that anybody's gotten my card swaps, and I sent a load of cards out a couple of weeks ago, and my swaps were in that batch, I suppose, and one or two others that were in that also hasn't arrived. So if you haven't received my swap and you were expecting it, I do apologize. Hopefully it will get there eventually. I might just quickly whip up some new ones and send them out, because I would hate for you not to get your swap from me. But yeah, maybe they fell off the boat on the way to the UK or something. Who knows? As I say, there's been a few other postal gremlins going on. So anyway, so there we have it. Sue says it's fine on her mobile. Okay, so let's just share. I'm just going to put this into our VIP group, so we've got it. Okay, Sue says it's fine. Sue, received your prize. Excellent. I'm glad. I'm so pleased. So thankfully, the cards that I sent didn't go in the same batch as the prizes, and I think people seem to have been receiving their packages and prizes, so that's good. I'd love to see what you make with them if you get round to it. I know that you've all been busy with your seeing the Stamp Club orders have all come in this month and last month. So can you believe it? Next month is the last month of Stamp Club. Who knew? It's just, can you believe it's been 6 months already? It's just absolutely insane. Time just goes so fast, and I have to say, just this year in particular, since we made the move properly, has just been mad. So yeah, I have to start thinking. It's now coming up to the end of October, and we all agreed a little while ago that I wouldn't go Christmas until after Halloween. So I have to start thinking about Christmas cards soon, and thinking about if I have some time to maybe do some Christmas card online classes, which would be really kind of cool. It's been quite a long time since I've been able to do an online class for you guys, so hopefully if things settle a little in the next while, maybe I'll be able to do something, so watch this space. I'm still thinking about having a crafty retreat for everybody, but I think getting that organised this side of Christmas might be just a bit too much and everybody gets busy. So I'm just wondering something kind of in end of January, early February, something post-Christmas to look forward to in the new year. That might be good. So if anybody fancies that, then let me know and I'll get working on that. So, as I said, I'm going to play with the Gorgeous Leaves bundle. Now, when we had our catalogue launch party all this time ago, this was one of my favourites, and so I've already made some cards with this stamp set. So I just thought I'd bring those back in so that you could see just a little bit of extra inspiration. But now I'm going to make some different cards. So there we go. Okay, so let's get going. So I'm going to start with a really simple card. Just going to do a bit of stamping. Now, Gorgeous Leaves, love this. You'll have seen me use these splodge stamps on lots of other cards before, so this stamp set is not unfamiliar to you, but you'll see it doesn't have any sentiment. So I'm going to use my other, again, you'll have seen this one a lot as well, so I'm going to use the Biggest Wish stamp set. So we've got a Whisper White card base. This is just our usual size. And we go. And then we've got a layer of Whisper White, which is 10 centimeters by 14 centimeters. So you can see it's just a half a centimeter smaller than everything else. Okay. And then we're going to do a bit of a kind of an ombre. So we're going to do some greens. So we're going to use Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, and Soft Seafoam. So Lynn says yes for a retreat. Sue says yes for a retreat. Okay, let's get something in the diary for the new year. I think that's probably best. Also, hopefully by then traveling will have settled down a bit. Diane is in. Oh, good. We're going to need a whole hotel. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the big, and I'm actually going to do my sentiment first, because that will help me with my placement. Okay, so I'm just going to use the Hello. This is going to be a really, really simple card. I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen. I think we'll see this colour coming out quite a bit over the next little while as we start our Christmas cards. Okay, so there we go. So let's just move that. And then I'm going to ink up the big splotch. And I'm just going to, using my soft seafoam. Ooh, you can see I don't use this one very often. It's a bit stiff. There we go. Okay, make sure I haven't got any ink. And start with stamping off. Just soft seafoam is really quite light, but I just want to check. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to, there we go. Just create a little bit there, and then I'm going to take this stamp here, which is the sort of medium size, well, the smaller of the leaves, and in my Soft Succulent, and then I'm going to take this one here, which is the more intense splatter, I guess. I'm going to take my Evening Evergreen and stamping off, and then just going to stamp around my leaves to stamp off my Evening Evergreen, otherwise it will just be a bit too intense. There we go. Okay, and then we'll bring back in our card base. And I'm just going to glue that down onto our card. Now you could actually do this as a single layer stamping only card. Mary is in. Okay, excellent. Let me see if I can put something together. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take some Wink of Stella. Let's just make sure that it's, there we go, I'm just squeezing it to make sure that I've got ink in the barrel, and then I'm just going to, there we go, I've got a little air bubble, so just get rid of that, and then there we go, we've just got a little bit of sparkle on there. And you know what, let's do some embellishment on this one. So I have my matte decorative dots, and we have the sort of Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. So we'll try and keep it kind of neutral. Let's just get our teeny tiny let's put one up here. So there we go. So there we are. That's card number one. Super, super simple. Just stamping. Alright. So let's just pop our ink pads away. I'm going to try really hard tonight not to make a massive mess. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, who knows? Normally, by the end of a live, it's like stamping Armageddon on the desk here. You just can't move. Okay, so that's card number 1. Let's pop it away. And now for our second card. I've got a bit techniquey on this one, but it should still be quite clean and simple. So we'll start again with a simple white card base. Okay, and then we have our layer of Whisper White, which is the same 10 by 14. But we're going to put those to one side for a moment. Okay, and then we're going to have a bit of a play with this piece here. So I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper. So we've got a bit of an unusual colour combination here. So I've got Pool Party, Mint Macaron and Pacific Point. We're going to do a bit of ink blending. Okay, so let's just grab my brushes. So, okay, so I'm going to start with Pool Party. Let's just open them up. Okay, so I'll start with my lightest colour, which is Pool Party. And what I want to do is just kind of create spots of colour on here. Okay, I'm not looking to cover the whole piece. I just want to lay down some colour. Whoa, can you hear that? I'm up in the roof in my room, so you can really hear the wind. Okay, so that's my Pool Party. Next I want my Mint Macaron. And in fact that's not enough of a contrast, the old Mint Macaron. So let's grab, Coastal Cabana should do it. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And I'm actually going to bring in a little bit of Bermuda Bay as well. You can see I'm just gradually getting darker. And you can see that I'm not worried about blending, and you'll see why in a minute. It won't be all that important. I just want to get a good mix of colour. Okay, and then we're going to take our Pacific Point, and I want to go quite lightly with this because Pacific Point is quite dark. Okay, so I just want to build that colour up gradually, otherwise it will overpower some of the other colours that we have. Okay, and then just going to go back to our Pool Party. Just use that to blend it out a little bit. Okay, so that looks a little bit messy, but don't worry about it because we've got to play around with it now. So I'm going to bring back in small speckle as opposed to the big splodge. Okay, close some of these up, and we're going to do a bit of heat embossing on here. So I'm going to grab my embossing buddy, and I'm going to give it quite a liberal dusting because we've inked on here, so the ink may well be a little bit wet. So I just want to make sure that when we ink, it doesn't stick where we don't want it. Okay, I'm going to take my Versamark. I'm just going to ink up randomly around the place. There we go. I think I've got it all. And then I'm just going to put my white embossing powder over the top. Let's grab my other small. That's clear. Silver. Clear. White. There we go. Okay. There we are. Okay, so you can see we've got these splotches. I've got a few little lines here from where the edge of my stamp has caught. So I'm just going to get rid of those. Okay, now let's put all this back in our tub. And of course I have 2 tubs, so here we go. I need to do quite a bit of white embossing now just to make it that I only have enough for 1 tub, because it's just a little bit too much for 2. Okay, so now let's grab our heat tool. Remember, get your heat tool nice and warm in preparation, and then just like this. There we go. There we are. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my dies and just take those 2. And what we're going to do is just die cut various bits. So I'm going to see if this will go through my mini cutting and emboss machine. I don't think it will. I think it might be a bit fat, but let's see. Oh, it will. Okay, great. So I can do it from here rather than going across. Okay, so we've got our base, and then we've got our clear plate. So that's plate 1 and plate 2. Okay, and we're just going to run these through a couple of times to get various die cuts. Okay. Okay, if you've just arrived, remember to leave me a comment to say hi so I know you're here. Okay, and now we've got some gorgeous little dies, so we'll just keep doing that. And you can see I'm not bothered about getting white embossing on the whole part of the leaf. Just want a little bit of that. Okay. Now, you could use any kind of leaves or leaf dies that you've got for this technique. It actually looked really nice with flowers as well. Could you imagine it with stars or snowflakes or trees even? So this is a really cool technique. I think my light's flickering, is it? Hopefully we're okay. There we are. That's a bit better. Need a new light. There we go. Okay, so we have some lovely leaves, but I'm going to do some even more with them. I'm going to give them some more texture. So I've got our bark embossing folder here. So I'm just going to lay them inside like so, and then just quickly run it through my Big Shot. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now you'll see what I have. Some lovely textured leaves. It's just taken the bottom off one of the leaves, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's just make some room here. Right, let's bring back in our card base. Okay, so now I'm going to use the same sort of layout as the first card, but we're just going to lay some of these leaves down. And you know what? I'm actually going to take the stems off all of these, because I think, or I'm going to just shorten the stems, because I think that they will layer a lot better if they haven't got big long stems on them. Okay. And what I also have, I have some, I just have some of these, so that sort of outline dies I have in white. I'll just grab a few of those. So that's these little detail dies. So I'm just going to play around, and actually I'm going to take my large texture stamp and using Pool Party, small piece of black. So now I'm going to do a little bit more heat embossing, and I'm just going to do another, I'm just going to do a thank you. Okay, so got this here. So yes, I've changed my mind on what I want to do, but that's allowed. So let's bring back in our heat embossing. I did say I needed to do some more white embossing, didn't I? So there we are. We're just going to stamp this thank you onto. So this is a scrap of black that I have left over from trimming cardstock. One of our pieces. That's not straight, so let's do that again. That's better. Perfect. Okay, there we go. So, okay, let's bring in our piece now. Okay, so that's going to get popped up. I'm just going to add some leaves around it, like so. And this is always a challenge with random. There's my pieces. Yep. Right, I think I'm happy with that arrangement. Okay, so I'm going to pop this up. So I'm going to use my black dimensionals for this. Okie dokie. So let's just lay that across like so. Just got a little bit of leftover powder here, so I'm just rubbing it off. And then let's use, oh, I need to grab some glue dots, 1 second. I used up all of my glue dots last week, so now I need a new roll. Okay, so okay, I'm going to curl these up a little to create some dimension. I'm trying to remember where I put everything. I'm going to use a tiny bit of glue on the back of this. You can see I'm just barely squeezing. Yep. So I'm just curling up the corners of my leaves. And to move that one a little. Try not to tear my actual die cut. Ooh, got hearts for this one. Thank you. Okay, and then that in there. There we go. Now, big question. Do I put a third leaf here somewhere? Let me know. With the leaf or without the leaf? And whilst you decide, I will close up some of these ink pads and make some room. See what we've got. Yes to the leaf. Diane says yes. Got some hearts, so I think yes to the leaf. I think I agree with you ladies. Yes to the leaf. So let's do that. Let's pop that on there. And then I think this needs some a wink of Stella. Yep, there we go. And then we need some embellishments. So I'm just going to stick with just the usual go-to clear rhinestones. So just to add a teeny bit of sparkle. There we go. And then I think we'll pop this up. Okay, bring back in our card base. So this is not what you would call an autumnal colour scheme, but I do love the whole pool party, Bermuda Bay and Pacific Point. You can swap in Coastal Cabana or Night of Navy, but those kind of aqua colours I think are really, really gorgeous. There we go. Alright, so there we have it. That is card number 2. So let's clear away again a little bit more. Pop our rhinestones away. I'm using a lot of different colour inks tonight, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it? There we go. And then what I normally do is I have a little bag here which I keep in with my stamp set, where I keep any leftover die cuts. So you can see I actually have quite a few. So rather than waste them, I just put them in a little clear. So these are like the little bags that you keep your cards in, and then I just keep it in the box with my stamp set. So whenever I take it out to use, they're right there and ready for me. Okay, so there we go. So now we're going to go a bit autumnal, I think. So let's do this. So we're going to go, I'm just going to cut this down. Alright, so we've got a fun colour combination here, which is crushed curry, pumpkin pie and Merry Merlot. So very autumnal. And then I've got a Merry Merlot card base. And then I have a layer of very vanilla I'm going to go for this time, so we've got a more autumnal feel. And then I've also got the 10 by 14, and I've got the same for the inside. And then I just have a strip, again left over from trimming my cardstock. So I'm going to put these to one side for the moment, and we're going to do some masking on this, so, and blending. So I've got this piece of paper that I've been using today, okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to rip it, and you can see I'm deliberately being uneven. Okay, another scrap piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece and get my washi tape here. Okay, so I'm just going to lay my piece down. I'm just going to that's just to hold that in place, and then I'm going to so I just want to, I'm going to create an opening, so I just need to think about exactly where I want the piece to be, like that. And then I'm just going to, my goodness, can any of you hear the wind outside? It's really howling. Okay, and then I want my other piece. I'm not going to flip this around so that they don't match up exactly. There we go. So I want a piece approximately that wide. So this is just creating an area where I can now blend. Okay. So the thing to be careful of here is, one, that your cardstock is straight, so you can so you don't end up with a, unless you want it, you could have it going any way you want, but I want this to be reasonably straight. Okay, and then secondly, when I'm attaching my masks at either end, I'm not putting it on the cardstock because otherwise I'll have a gap. Okay, so now I'm going to grab, so that's pink. That's also pink, so let's just grab my others. One for my yellow and one for my orange. Okay, so we'll start with our crushed curry, and as always we'll start off of our card and the thing here is to be careful of the edges, which is why I'm only going up from here. If I was to go that way, I would pull the edge back and lose the effect that I'm trying to go for. Okay, so I want it quite intense. So you can see this point is going to cause me problems, so I just need to be a little bit careful with that one. Okay, and then we'll do the same from this side. Now, if you had you could put some adhesive underneath if you wanted, but that's okay. The other way to avoid that is to make it that you don't have such big zigzaggies, but you keep it a lot more even. Right, so it's the yellow. Let's do our orange. So this is my pumpkin pie. Now again, this is quite an intense colour, so I just want to build this up gradually from off my card, like so. Remember, when you're inking and blending, it's much easier to add colour. Once it's on there, you can't take it away. So just be patient in building your colour up and blending it. Use sponges on this for this if you wanted, if you had them. It doesn't have to be brushes. But I find that the brush gives a smoother blend. Okay, just take your time with it and you should get the result that you want. And then I'm just going to take my crushed curry and just go back over just to create a bit more of a blend. So particularly along the middle here, I want to make sure that it stands up to the pumpkin pie. want it to be really quite intense. There we go. Oh. And I think I want a little bit more pumpkin pie along this edge here. Just want to bring it in and down a little bit further. There we go. Okie dokie. So now let's close these up. And then when I take my piece away, what I'm left with, so you can see there where I've gone on a bit, but I can fix that in just 1 second. There we go. Okay. And then just carefully peel this off, and then carefully take the washi tape off. Okay, just a tip for you when you're removing washi tape is that if you remove it at a bit of an angle, you're less likely to tear your cardstock than if you just pull it off straight. Okay, so there we have our panel, and then I'm going to bring in the Merry Merlot here, and I'm going to use this stamp set, this stamp first. Okay. Ooh, got hearts for that. You like it? Excellent. Right, so then what I'm going to do is first I'm going to make sure that I've gotten rid of the ink from my fingers so I don't. And then what we can do is there we go, and then I'm going to bring back in my small one. So you can see by my stamping I can cover up any errors that I may have made with my masking. There we go, and then we have this teeny tiny little set with lots of different leaves in it, so we can just fill in the gaps. But it's important when doing this technique that you make sure to stamp outside of the masked area. Let's do here. There we go. Okay. Oh, I need this open. So then bring back in my little strip and bring back in the Blossoms and Blooms stamp set, because that's got the lovely little thank you. So with my Merry Merlot, I'm just going to stamp thank you here. There we are, and that's just going to sit like that. So I'm just going to trim that down a little. Okay, and then whilst we've got it, let's bring in our inside. And I'm just going to stamp in the corner. No, I don't like that. Let me flip that over. So better. Okay, and now we're ready to assemble. So we'll do our inside first. We've got to go, Mary. That's all right. You can catch the rest up later. What time is it anyway? Yeah, we should be finishing up soon. I've got one more card after this one. There we go. I've got my temperamental glue here today. Oh, that should help. There we are. There's obviously some sort of obstruction in the nib. I need to get to that. Alright, so that's our inside. Okay, and then I'm just going to lay this one down. I'm going to glue it on flat. What I like about these leaves is, as you'll see, the stamp itself has the sort of the spritzing speckles around it anyway, which is quite nice. No, that's not the piece. This is the piece that I want. Okay, so just going to pop that up. I think there's one more thing that we can do just to add a little something to it. I suppose there's lots we can do, but the thing I'm going to do is to add a little bit of gold thread, and I see that I've gotten a thumbprint on that, so let's try and get rid of that. There we go. So I'm just going to create a loop, like so, and then make it like a figure of 8. Put a little bit of snail down here just to hold it in place. There we go. And then we can stick our sentiment down. I love these colours too, Diane. I have to say, when it comes to autumn colours, you'll know from my cards, I do a lot of bright colours. That's kind of what my go-to is. But I actually love autumn colours. They're just so beautiful. My difficulty sometimes is just picking which one to use because we've got so many gorgeous ones. Now, I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella and add some, but we just have to be careful because these are quite intense ink colours that we don't spread the ink too much. I just want a little bit of sparkle on here. So there we are, that's card number 3, definitely getting autumnal now. Alright, and I do like that technique of just creating that, your own mask. Again, you can just use any sort of colours with that. Right. Okay, so we're on to our final card. Being good today. My desk is not too bad. Okay. Alright, so the next card, we've got an early espresso card base, and then we have a strip of crushed curry, which is 14.5 centimeters by, I want to say 7, but let me just double check. Yeah, by 7. And then I have a strip that's 14.5 by 6. So we're going to have this layout. And then I've already die cut. This is one of the labels from this is the label from the Quiet Meadow die set. So I just cut that out in with crushed curry. Alright, so now I'm just going to clean off my stamps. Okay, that's it, because we're going to do our stamping here. Okay, so for this I've got the crushed curry, Cajun craze and rich raspberry. So it's another nice fun autumn colour combination. And I'm just going to use my sponge daubers this time. I'm just trying to get the right colour. Okay, so again, this is a technique that I like doing, which is inking up my stamps and then adding more colour to them and shading. Okay, so I'm going to ink my leaf up in crushed curry, and then I'm going to add some Cajun craze. So all I'm doing is, I don't know if you can see that, if I'm in the frame or not. There we go. So I'm just going to use my dauber to ink up the edge, and then I'm going to take some rich raspberry and just add it around, and then I'm just going to stamp down. And you get that beautiful variegated colouring. Okay, so it's important when doing this that you clean your stamp off after each one, because otherwise you'll get your colours all mixed up. Okay, so we'll just add some Cajun craze and our rich raspberry, like so. So you can see that I'm changing the pattern of inking each time. So sometimes I put the Cajun craze on the bottom or the rich raspberry. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is that you put the lighter colour down first. Okay. And you don't need a lot, just a little hint is enough. And in fact, if you're too heavy-handed with your dauber, then you get you can see here, I was a bit heavy-handed and I got a line. That's not that nice, but we can deal with that. Alright, so nearly done. I just want a tip for this one. So you can see I've got two more on there that I want. Kat wants to know if next week is Christmas cards. I'm not sure I'm ready to do full-on Christmas just yet, Kat, but I will be starting to do Christmas cards. I think we had a conversation, didn't we all, a little while ago, and we agreed that I would not do Christmas until after Halloween. Okay, now I've got me an edge on my stamp there. Can you see it? In fact, I'll be able to cover that up, so that's okay. And I think we just need a little bit more down here. So there we go. So there we have it. So I've done it on a strip, but you could do it on a much larger piece. Anything you want, really. Okay, so I'm going to pop those to one side. And actually, before I finish up completely, No, I don't. I'll add the insert later. Okay. So this is going to get attached here, and that's going to get attached to there. So now I'm going to bring in my early espresso. I'm going to stamp the sentiments. Again, I'm just going to do another thank you card, because I always have need of thank you cards. Okay. There we go. And I think what I'm going to do, just to create a little bit of extra texture on that, is I'm actually going to just stamp behind it with the crushed curry. So it's just a little bit of subtlety on there. Okay. Alright, so now we're ready to assemble. So I'm going to glue this piece to my crushed curry piece. Xmas dabble maybe. I think we can manage a Christmas dabble, Cat. I've got all these sets that I haven't quite broken out yet. So if everybody else is in favour, we can do a bit of a dabble on Christmas. Happy to do that. Okay, so we'll just get that straight. Cat's happy. Good. Okay, so now I've got my, what's this? This is my gold shimmer ribbon. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit luxurious with this now. Okay, so I'm going to just do a knot. Let's do a bow and see how it works. I was thinking this might be a masculine card, so I didn't want to put a knot, a bow on it, but we'll see. Okay, and our sentiment is going to go like that. But what we're going to do is we're also going to add some twine. Okay, so I'm just going to move that up out of the way for the moment so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So Lynn is in favour of Christmas next week. Kat is in favour. So I think we're on, ladies, aren't we? Alright, so I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing. Hang on. So what I want to do is just thread through these holes. Okay. And then around. And I'm putting it through the back, so I'm putting it in from the top. And out the other end. Diane says yes for Christmas. Cool. Kat says, what Christmas sets do I have? Got quite a few from the new catalogue actually. Oh, ladies, what am I doing? Ladies, ladies, ladies. Let's try that again. Okay, so I'm going to do this a different way. Okay, I'm going to double up my twine and I'm going to simply thread it through that center one. Okay, there we go. And then I have okay, and then I can attach it on the back like so. So I'm just going to use a little bit of double-sided tape just to hold that in place. Like so. Okay, and then we can put that there to cover up my little boo-boo. And then we can wrap this round. And then I'm going to wrap it round one more time underneath. Okay, and then, no, I won't get it. Okay, like so, and then I can attach it on the other side, again with some double-sided tape. Okay, trim this bit off. Okay, and then I'm just going to spread them out a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then bring my gold back in. And I think I'm just going to go with a strip of gold actually. Oh my goodness, Kat, you want Christmas and sparkle? I'm sure we can manage that. Okay. So this is coming together. I had a little picture in my head and I'm just trying to make it happen. Okay, and then we've got our twine. So I've doubled it up and I'm just creating a knot, and then I'm going to just curl it. Come on, there we go. I'm going to use my scissors because my bone folder is not working. And then my scissors has just cut it off. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my fingers and just twist it like so. There we are. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my, where are they? There they are. I'm going to grab my metallic dots because I think these will be perfect. Okay, so just even that up a little. There we go, and let's see, I'm going to use my copper. You know what, I think 2 is enough. Okay, there we go, and then this is going to get popped up. But before we do that, I've just had an idea which I think will look good. is I'm going to take the wood grain stamp set, or stamp, and I'm going to ink that up in Early Espresso. And just stamp all around the base. You can see I'm not making it even. I'm twisting and turning my stamp so that we get, aha, there we go. Look at that. Okay. And then we'll just pop this on. Oh, it's been a long one tonight, ladies. Hope I'm not keeping you up too late. Okay, right, so then we just lay that across there, like so. So there we have it. So now let's just bring in our cards. So it's over to you, ladies. It's time to vote. So we had card 1, card 2, card 3, or card 4. There we go. Hope you can see all of them in there. So whilst I tidy up, let me see what you think. Last week, because we couldn't have comments, it's great having comments tonight. I didn't know which ones you liked the best. So Sue Bishop says all of them. Thank you very much, Sue, but that's copping out a little bit, I think, if we're honest. Oh dear. So next week, I think we will have a little taste of Christmas, as requested. If there's any particular stamp set that you would like me to have a play with next week, leave me a comment, and if I have it, I will incorporate it. I'm just trying to, I've got quite a few of them from the catalogue. So Sharon says 4 then 3, Lynn says 4 1 3 2. Gosh, turquoise Lee's favourite colour, says Cat. Yeah, these two are quite a different look to these two, aren't they? But there you go. It's just one of those things. Sometimes when you look at a stamp set, you see, it's very easy to look at that set and I think just see autumn. But I think it's just, you can never go wrong with leaves. Cat likes the first. That's brilliant. Okay, Diane says 4 3 1 2. Brilliant. So there we have it, ladies. Thank you very much for joining me this week. I'm glad that we managed to make it through despite the technical difficulties at the beginning, and I look forward to seeing you all next week when we shall do some trees. Kat says whimsical trees. That's a good idea. I like those. Sue says 1 3 4 2. Wow, it's quite a mixed bag in terms of opinions this week, so that's cool. Alrighty, I hope I've inspired you. As I said, we've used gorgeous leaves and the coordinating dies, but these designs can be kind of done with any kind of leaves. So look in your stamps and see what leaf stamps you have, and you can create these designs easily. So I will see you all again next week. Bye.